What's up, my healthy selfers? It's Tim again. Welcome back. I'm glad you guys are tuning in to get this good message here. I just want to kind of pop in just for a little bit, not too much of your time, because I just thought about something. In my last video, if you guys can see it, the previous video there, which is probably my first video on here, I was discussing diabetes, and I was talking about what I heard on the radio when I had mentioned that they were saying like there was 1,100 cases of diabetes reported in the early 1970s, and within the next 5 years they expect over 1 billion people to have diabetes. And I discussed it. I think that has a lot to do with a lot of the foods and a lot of things they're putting in our foods. I thought about this. This was really interesting. I just wanted to share with you guys because I kind of want you guys to look out for it as well. Oddly enough, probably about 6-7 years ago, I was going to see this doctor, just for routine checkups and things of that nature. I just came over illness, what have you. And I just noticed something, like the couple of visits before, let me try to explain this. It was kind of like a clinic almost, but there was my doctor there, literally assigned from a bigger hospital. We were all part of this big hospital. And I would go and I was making improvements because I thought I was exercising, I was eating a little better, but actually not healthy because I wasn't as informed about some things as I am now. But I was doing some things that was making a positive change in my life. So she would see these things on my, on my record there. I would go to her probably like once a month because I just kind of wanted to make sure I'm going in the right direction. So the first thing she would do, of course, was, weigh me and everything. She would check my vitals and all that, and always draw blood and things of that nature. Well, some of the basic information would come back, of course, like whatever the weight number is, whatever, showing improvements there. But they would have to send the blood off, and then when I come back, I would get the results from the blood. And she'd give me a copy of it, and to me, it looked like all gibberish, so I never really paid attention to it. But I kept the papers. She would say, yeah, you're doing a good job, keep doing what you're doing, what have you. I'm like, okay, cool, that's what I'm doing. So I kept doing what I was doing. And what I was doing was I would buy different foods, rice or whatever. I would make this rice with oils and stuff like that. Chicken, whatever, mix it all in or whatever, and thinking that if I eat one meal a day, that was good enough. I would exercise, whatever. And it was giving me some improvements, right? Check this out. So I go back the next time, right, about a month later. I'm like, oh yeah, you're doing a very good job. You're improving. Look at the numbers are good. And she draw my blood again. So now I come back and the third time and I got the results from the second blood test, right? Still they pay attention to it. That stuff was always over my head. They would have different names and numbers there. I just didn't want to take a look at it all. I wasn't paying attention to that. Because I was looking at the bottom line of what's my weight or whatever. Well, I go back another time, right? And she do a routine, take my blood and everything. She's excited. She's like, oh yeah, you're doing really, really good. I'm so proud of you, whatever. Everything you're doing right now, you keep doing it. She give me suggestions on different oils to use when I'm cooking, times I should eat and whatever, and exercise. That was cool information. It was probably information that you probably hear every day, right? So, okay. I get home and she, of course, take my blood again. Now I got 3 different paperwork from my last 3 visits from a blood test, that is, over the last 3 months. And it was almost time for me to go back to that next appointment. And I just happened to look at something. I thought I'd look at these papers. I looked at the first one, and I thought I'd look at my triglycerin levels or whatever, things of that nature. Look at all these numbers, and then I look at them from the next month, and I would see improvements. And there was one number that was not improving, but actually going in the wrong direction. That was my sugar level. Sugar level kept going up by a different number. That was odd. And I looked at the second month, same thing, higher and higher and higher. Everything else going lower, but my sugar level was going higher. The third level was like, well, higher. I'm like, I look at the number, and see what those numbers mean, right? And I was getting close to being what's called pre-diabetic. These numbers getting that close. I'm like, oh, that was odd. I'm like, why wouldn't the doctor tell me to watch the sugars or what have you, right? But instead, she would tell me I'm doing real good. Well, I went back in to do my other doctor visit. For some reason, she was a little bit busy, right? And I'm like, okay, let me do this. Let me just schedule for the next 2 days, whatever, right? Now coming in. She's like, cool, I set the appointment. And she came out and talked with me and everything. She was like, oh yeah, you got your information from your last blood test. Right. And she was like, oh, I'm so proud you're doing really, really good keeping up. I looked over those numbers in details and you're doing very, very good. Okay. So I was like, okay, can I get a copy of that? And she was like, yeah. She told the nurses at the nurse's station to give me a copy. So she went on to the back, finished what she was doing. Well, the nurse was saying, looked at my paper and she said, oh yeah, you're doing real good. And smiled and handed it to me. But it was just something, it was like an energy or something off, like they were setting me up. I mean, that's just what I felt. Of course, I have no evidence against that. It was just like an energy, though, that came on me like, you better watch these guys here. Okay. So I take heed to things like that. I got the paper, get home, whatever, later on. I tried to look at the papers. The sugar level is up even more. This time, this close to being pre-diabetic. Meaning that, I don't know, probably my next visit, I probably would have been pre-diabetic. Now, I noticed this, you always, like, up my medicines for blood pressure and blood thinners and things like that. Well, she would up dosages and things like that without even telling me. And really, I got nothing to do with the visit. She was just change my prescriptions and add on different prescriptions. I went from the first time I was visiting this lady to being prescribed my first couple of things to I had 2 different prescriptions. One was blood pressure and she gave me blood thinner. By the time of that 4th or 5th visit that I went to, she had me on 5 different medications. I don't even know what the hell the other 3 really was. And she increased the doses and all kind of stuff. What the heck going on? I mean, if I'm doing this good over and over. But I get home and I look at these numbers and I'm looking at the numbers for the sugar level and how I'm getting this close to being pre-diabetic. And these people ain't say nothing. But instead, they pat me on the back saying how good of a job I'm doing. I thought about what I was eating. I'm like, why the hell am my stuff going up? I'm exercising, I'm supposed to be eating right, everything. I look and I'm like, what the heck? Then I see a documentary. They talk about how rice, pretty much, once you eat white rice, that is, you eat that and it turns basically into a sugar-like substance in your system. So basically, I'm eating the more white rice I was eating, which she was aware of, and she recommended different menu items for it. I'm eating this stuff, and it's basically building up as more sugar. Now, I'm not eating cookies and the cakes, none of that stuff, but these sugars and noodles and stuff that I'm eating, mixed with the vegetables and all that thing I'm doing something mixed with the oil of it, that stuff was about to get me on a diabetic medicine, and it was like she couldn't wait to prescribe this medication. That's the funny part. You want to hear this? I go pick my medication up, which was actually, funny enough, the next day. Routine thing, I go through a drive-thru, whatever. And they say, oh yeah, you got a new medication. I'm like, okay, what is it, right? Because I'm thinking medication is good for me, right? You know, of course, you think it is saving your life. You think your doctors are all about your best interest. At least that's what I thought. Well, she prescribed something, I forgot the name of it, it's real popular in the diabetic community. She prescribed me a diabetic medicine without diagnosing me with diabetes. But she was very assumptive that I was going to be pre-diabetic, I guess. I thought that was wild. And I thought about it all night, like, she changed up a lot of my medications and added things on. This is all while I got a track record of improving my health, as everything except for the sugar, obviously. But, like, this lady had no interest in my health whatsoever. She don't care about me managing my health. I have to care about managing my health. And that was a shocker to me, like, how the hell am I gonna do that? I'm not a doctor. Like, what? I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? And I decided I'm not going back to that doctor. I'm not going back to her no more. As a matter of fact, I called and I requested a change of doctors. So I just said I wasn't comfortable. I didn't say anything in particular. But the new doctor they assigned me to, I think I went one time. And I started getting more information. And I pretty much decided that I'm not going to play by their rules. They're not interested in, making me healthy. They're interested in making me a customer, a permanent customer. In other words, they wanted me to be their drug addict, and they get money for selling drugs to me. I know that sounds almost like street jargon, all right, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same thing. Let's say, for example, if I went somewhere and someone gave me a little bit of heroin, and a year later, let's say I'm addicted to heroin, it's very hard for me to stop doing heroin, right? Because every time I take the heroin, I'm going to feel good. Even though I may be conscious of it being bad for me. But at least I'm alive feeling good, right? And that's a tough battle in its own right. The medical industry and the prescription world and things like that, the more I learn, it's more business than it is about them consciously helping you. Of course, some of those things, they keep you alive. I mean, you look at some of these medicines out there, and we're going to have a whole topic about this whole medicine thing. But if you think about it, I mean, you look at those, you hear those comedians talk about the side effects of some of these medicines or whatever. It's funny, but it's true. I seen one that was, I think it was a prescription for your heart or something like that. But they said one of the side effects was blindness. You know what I mean? Amongst a whole bunch of other things. I'm like, wow, this is kind of crazy. Anyway, so nonetheless, that's why we're here now. We're healthy selfers. So I'm going to tell you what I've been doing as far as the whole sugar thing and reversing that. Because I did have my numbers checked about 2 years later or whatever, and it was drastically different. I learned to cut out white rice. The spaghetti, the basic spaghetti that's made by the regular pasta or whatever, the flour and all that, the breads, and, I look at everything now. All the high fructose corn syrup, the sugar. They have like multiple names for sugar now. And I'm still educating myself on that. And it's real deep, I'm telling you, it really is. They really are tricking society into having ingredients that, without really the knowledge and consent that they're putting in your foods and stuff and drinks. But I cut a lot of those things out, sodas and other things out. Man, my sugar levels had dropped so dramatically, it's ridiculous. So that was a good call. Whatever God put in my spirit that time, I'm glad he did it, because that made me more conscious, made me more self-aware, more of a healthy self. It made me want to be more proactive about taking care of my own health myself. That's basically what it is. So nonetheless, I'm just going to share with you whatever. So if you're eating white rice, the pasta and the breads and things like that, be very careful, because those things do turn into sugar in your system. I don't have the medical terms, and I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing with you what I experienced, and if you're sharing the same thing, I'm just, letting you know to probably look into alternative methods. Like they have some vegan options for a lot of things now. Brown rice, they say, is good. I actually kind of use more. I'll probably sometimes mix wild rice with the brown rice sometimes when I want rice, and I'm trying to phase out the brown rice now too. I just don't trust it. Anyway, nonetheless, that's it for us right now, man. Healthy self there. I just wanted to share that with you there. Like I said, we're gonna have a lot more. But if you guys got any more suggestions about what you can replace the sugar options with, drop it in the comments there. Because as you know, I'm a snacker also. So I wanted to look for, the good stuff that I'm used to, like the cookies and cakes, but healthier versions of it if possible. I don't know. Anyway, nonetheless, I look forward to seeing you guys again real soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys.